It's a good lead now. Podsiadly drops the mark in the centre. Walker, long ball forward. Chapman outnumbered. Good fly by Geary at the back. Mackie uses Selwood. Selwood's got busy in this last quarter. Good kick. Stokes has been a good player tonight. He's kicked over 150 goals, Stokes, in the last 5 seasons. So he's sort of averaged 30-odd goals a year now. He's not going to get that return this year, but I reckon in the last 5 or 6 weeks, he started to build, and he'll be a very important player come September. Chapman got the handball from Stokes. Does he go all the way, Chappie? No, he's kicked a few behinds tonight. Chapman, I think 4 in total. So it's just been a bit off the ball, Chappie.
The other thing about St Kilda this year, they've had 4 close games, under 10-point margin, lost them all. That ability to actually win the close games as opposed to lose, an enormous difference in your season.
McAvoy will get a free kick. Unrealistic jump from behind. So McAvoy, just in the centre square, as you can see, comes back to Goddard. Goddard towards half forward. Geary started very well. Back to Goddard. Goddard, terrible kick. His kicking has been ineffective at times this season. Saad, well, interesting the way he got rid of it. Bartel timed the release brilliantly. Murdoch comes away, goes to half forward. Podsiadly. They're so spirited in the 3rd term, the Saints, but they're running now on empty. In front, Hawkins, well played. Gwilt in his hip pocket. Picked it eventually. Goes to the outer side, and Schneider.
Done well, Schneider, since he's come on. That's not a great handball to Armitage. Bartel, Mackie, Selwood. So many of their premiership players have played great last quarters. This guy hasn't played in the premiership, Murdoch, but he's been important. And Goddard takes the mark. Big numbers for Goddard tonight, pushing up towards 30. Graham, what a prolific 3rd quarter he had. Stephen out wide. Gilbert had 9 disposals in that 3rd quarter. Jack Stephen just a 13 for him tonight, so he's down as well. Wilkes hasn't been able to trouble the scoreboard tonight. Schneider was short, but he's going to have a shot. No, he's not going to have a shot. Well, that was not all that well thought out in the end. Kelly. Seems a long time ago that Kelly handballed the ball when he was 20 metres out from goal, doesn't it?
Yeah, all is forgiven. Taylor goes forward. Seems a long time ago, too, when Taylor Hunt booted those early goals. But they got the start they wanted. The Saints then had to claw their way back. Almost climbed the mountain, but then Geelong have skipped away. Stokes, clever. Podsiadly deep in the pocket. Fancies himself. Podsiadly runs around and kicks his 2nd.
Well, he's kicked a couple. He deserves a Podsiadly. I reckon he's played a really good role with Hawkins tonight again.
And Simpkins has been good since he's came off the substitute. He's had a good last quarter as well, just to join in when they needed a bit of energy.
What about Stokes' influence tonight?
Yeah, he's been good tonight. He's had the 22 disposals, and there's still spots up for grabs. I think that's part of the exciting thing when you get towards the finals, is who's going to jockey into which position. Alan Christensen's not playing tonight. I think he's in their best 22, and whether Varco can get up. But Stokes, he certainly had a solid night tonight. Podsiadly does play that role. We saw a couple of weeks ago against Hawthorn, I should say, and kept Gibson accountable. As we see, Tomkinson getting a bit of work on his neck there.
So this is the biggest margin of the night, believe it or not, after all that work by St Kilda in the 3rd quarter and early in this last quarter. They have now conceded the biggest margin of the night. Goddard originally got the handball out. They've kept a pretty good watch on Del Santo all night, haven't they? He's been a thorn. What about Scotty Wattersley? I mean, a lot. Brendan Sanderson and Nathan Buckley have been outstanding first-year coach. How have you seen his?
Well, he's been a good spokesman for the club. You never quite know the coach, but St Kilda won 12 games last year. They may still win 12 games this year. So you could say they've been similar in terms of win-loss.
You feel like they're a bit more attractive this year. They've scored more heavily.
Well, they've got a percentage of 120, so they've actually had a couple of big wins on their good nights.
He's played some important minutes too late in the game. The sub. Jonathan Simpkin, there's the bounce, hooked over the back. Stokes liked his game tonight. Kicks down towards half forward. Fisted away by Graham, who hurt himself. As a result, Chapman's got free. Chapman will take this mark. Graham tried to go with him. You could see Graham just crouching in the foreground there momentarily. Hurt a shoulder or an elbow. And Chapman showed no compassion. He simply took off, as you would.
There's good vision there by Motlop. Just saw him just glance inside. They're one of those players naturally has his head on a swivel and found the space to Chapman.
So Chappie, his kicking hasn't been his best feature tonight, but this is a beauty. Steers it through, and suddenly it's the Cats in a canter.
You think if they'd got over West Coast last week, you know how desperately close. They may have still been a top 4 chance, Geelong.
Yeah.
They needed that win last week. They're not going to be top 4, but I don't know. You just feel that they could still maybe win the flag from outside the top 4. Is it possible, Lee?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't think they're going well enough to win 4 games in a row. That would be my view. What they've done in this last quarter is cut through. They've had 12 inside 50 entries for 7 goals. So they've just had a magnificent conversion of opportunities as this game's gone on.
One big thing for Geelong, if they finish top 6, they probably won't go to Perth, which will be pretty important for them. So this is a massive win for them tonight. They've got the Bulldogs next week, and then they've got Sydney at home. So they're on good position to finish in the top 6. Simpkin has been good in this last quarter, pushing forward. Potts out, he's made a good contribution. Graham's been a good player. Dempsey having maybe his best season. So one Swan Premiership player to another in Schneider. They've both been good pickups for the Saints. Schneider off a step. He's been missed this year, Schneider. Armitage running and breaking a line, and that's a very, very sloppy handball to Graham. Again, a bit sloppy, but he was under the pump. Hayes over the top. Milne, can he twist and turn? Well, he ducked into it, and I think it was good umpiring. Hayes to work it back. Left foot by Hayes, touched by Scarlett, and it's a behind, and that's it. Hawkins 6 again tonight, and Geelong in the end, believe it or not, after being just a point in front of this last quarter, win by 7 goals. A big win on a Friday night. And the Saints, maybe that's all.